All right, what's going on, everyone? Courtney Rollins here with my man Javon Moore, the Do REI Deals team and the Life and Transitions Experts podcast host. Here we're focused on helping families through the probate process, navigate the process properly, because the way we keep the lights on and feed our families is working with distressed property owners. And we've decided to focus on the niche of probate because it is an area where there are a lot of folks who need some caring solutions when it comes to the property and sometimes to the personal items. And if we can provide that, that's a win-win for everyone involved. And so my man Javon is an awesome just acquisitions manager. He makes calls, he qualifies our leads to see if we actually are a good fit. And that means a lot of conversation. That means some big ears and empathy and listening skills and negotiation skills. But still, even with that, having conversations with probate leads can be very, very similar to talking to other distressed property owners, but there are some nuances that are different. So I just wanted to have you all see me and Javon have a conversation as I, share some of my experience and he shares his experience and we mesh it together. But that's how we're gonna do this. But how you doing, Javon? What's going on, man?
I'm good.
Oh,
cool. Enjoying life as always.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. And so what I want you to do when we're having this conversation today is, of course, ask questions that are based on what questions you may have, but also just think about folks who maybe haven't been a part of the probate process world, or even been a part of the world of having conversations with sellers. What questions might they have? But definitely want to get any clarify anything for you as best we can. And we're just doing the work. That's how we put in the work. We put in the time here. But I'm stalling a little bit because I'm looking for my actual file. I did a little slideshow here. Oh, here it is. All right, so let me set this up real quick. And let me just set this up. Hold on a second. All right, so here's my pretty little face. How to help a personal representative deal with probate in North Carolina. Because that's the reason I title is that, because that's the perspective that many of the folks we're going to help are going to come from. They're the personal representative. That means they're either the executor or the administrator for an estate, which is essentially saying the same thing. So let me just step back again, and I'll remind you, and you probably have heard this before, but probate is the legal process for settling the affairs in the estate of a deceased person. So if a person has a will, or a person has cars and houses, or has debt in their name, or even has money that they're supposed to give out to heirs, there has to be a legal way for that to actually be executed. You can't just go to the bank and say, hey, my uncle passed away, he says he's gonna leave me $5,000. They're not just gonna give it out. So somebody somewhere has to go through that process. And so that's what probate is. Even if you have a will in North Carolina, the will has to literally be legally probate. So a personal representative has a lot of checklists that they have to follow. They have a fiduciary responsibility, meaning if they don't do this properly, they can be held liable in court, criminally liable, as well as, I forget the other name of the term, but I forget the name, but they're liable for what happens in here. So it's a big deal. And that's really important to know, because just like, when Javon and I are having conversations, Javon's thinking, or we're trying to really hear what the person's perspective is. Well, we think about a personal representative perspective, everyone's experience is different, but still, this person is quite often dealing with the loss of a loved one. Now, at least they've at the stage where they're like, okay, I've decided to go ahead and make a step and actually file for probate. So they've at least closed some door or made some steps towards saying, okay, I'm ready for the next step. This isn't like we're at the funeral home or rushing after people who are ambulance, like ambulance chasers. It's not that, but they're still dealing with the loss, and everyone processes stuff differently. They're dealing with managing family expectations. Everybody, their mama have opinions about stuff, but if you're the one responsible for having to, get stuff done, that can feel a lot different. And managing family, I mean, we all have family, so that's probably just enough said right there. And then for me, I'm in this world, and so are attorneys, so are the clerks. But for a lot of people, this is the first and only probate they're going through. So all the filings, man, there's so many dates that have to be things have to be filled out by this date on this date. You have to wait this certain amount of time before you can file this. Make sure this is clear. Make sure everything gets copied. Make everything is notarized, and making sure you do all that is a great responsibility. And I'm not set up like that, and I get the heebie-jeebies just thinking about all the stuff that you have to do. Accounting. This is really one of the challenging parts. Actually, I'm going to sit with with the lead, with the gentleman on Wednesday, because it's just so overwhelming. His wife passed away, and he needs to make sure, he has to make sure he accounts for everything in the estate. So we're even thinking about, is there a belt credit card out there that I think she owes on? I think it's somewhere. So he's trying to find that. How much is actually in the insurance at the time of death? How much was that car blue note, book note worth the time that he or she or they passed away? So it's a lot of accounting that has to take place. And then when the claims come in, is this a claim really valid? Do I need to pay it? How do I pay? Am I going to be, where am I getting the funds from the estate? And this is quite often where we help by giving an option for selling property if there's buying properties involved to help them unlock equity. But it's just to say that they're responsible for figuring it out. And it's all done in certain timelines. So it's overwhelming is basically what I'm saying. So when we come in, as opposed to coming in saying, hey, I heard someone died and there's maybe property involved. Can we buy your property? That's not the steps we take. And this is just an overview of what it looks like to open. And in fact, I encourage you all, if you're watching, go back and check out the other videos. I actually just put out a video on steps that have to take if you're opening up a estate with a will. So that's a part of what that's from. But it's the information is out there on the YouTube channel, Life and Transitions Expert, and love you all to check it out. But let me just go to one part. Where did it go? Boom. So this is one of my favorite slides. It really helps share what we try to do, the state pro service. And when I'm talking to folks, Javon, now, of course, man, I don't try to overwhelm folks and be like, hey, we can do all this, we can do all this. But I know that they're having to deal with a lot of things. Like you see a state pro service is the hub in the middle. We can point them and connect them to a lot of different places. But as opposed to overwhelming them and saying, hey, well, I can do all this stuff for you, just like when we're talking to other distressed property owners, I have to ask them quality questions to see what where they need help with. And so when I'm approaching a probate lead, I'm thinking about the challenge, the pain they have. I'm not making assumptions about that, but I have that understanding, and I understand the value we can bring. And so I'm usually calling saying, it's John, or hey, how you doing? This is Courtney. I'm calling you because I've worked with families going through the probate process, helping navigate the probate process. And we saw that you have a probate case on file in Durham County. Just call and see what challenge that you have and what's the biggest challenge that you're going through we may be able to help with. And then stop right there. I just take it right from there. So it's just basically, hey, I'm Courtney calling because we visit the probate office and we help families going through probate. What are some of the biggest challenges you might be facing we may be able to help with? And that usually gives us time to at least say who we are. And then they'll usually after that ask, we say, who is this? How'd you get my information? We visited, and then I go back and repeat. Yes, sir. We visit the probate office, once a week, get the information, and we help families who are going through the probate process. And I don't try to give examples like, for example, we do this, for example, do that, because I don't want to confuse them, but I'd rather it connected them to what they want. So what biggest challenges are you going through? Are there big challenges? Not are there challenges you're facing, but what challenge you're facing. So it's not a yes or no question. It's okay, what challenge you're facing? And then they may open up about, well, we're trying to deal with insurance, or quite often they may, still trying to figure out if they trust you. Say, well, I think we have it figured out. Oh, great, cool, awesome. That's great. I'll make sure I follow up in the future. Oh, by the way, do you happen to have any real estate or property that's involved that you may be interested in selling? And then that opens the door for that. Or there are other things that open up too. Oh, great, you have it all figured out. Just want to make sure you have the proper insurance on there, right? I'm sure they told you about having the right insurance. And that's my opportunity to go in, because of a property, to go in and add value. So basically, I'm trying to keep the conversation going by seeing if there's any value that I could add by sparking some questions. And the one about insurance, you don't have to know that right now, Javon, but we'll go over that a little deeper when we talk about some, I guess, obstacles or counters to obstacles. But just to let you know, and folks out there listening, if someone passes away, if someone moves out of a property, let's say a property has insurance and the insurance says that someone resides in there. Now, if it's vacant, something happens, the insurance company is going to do an investigation, and quite often they're going to say we don't have to pay this claim because this property isn't residential or have someone residing in it. It's a vacant property. It doesn't have the proper insurance on there. So those are the things that we can help with. Another quick example is we can help make sure that the people don't, squatters don't get into the vacant property by making sure it's labeled property. You have to have the proper no trespassing signs up to help you in case there's a situation where someone, whether it's a family member or just someone tries to squat in the property. So there's a lot of things that we can provide and help with that I'll like lead with after someone's already said, hey, I'm sure we got everything taken care of. But hope that wasn't too much, my man. I just really, main thing we're doing, keep hammering. This is, I think, second time we've had a chance to hammer it, is the opening. Hey, I help families going through the probate process. What's some of the biggest things on your plate that we can help you with? What are your thoughts, man? I know I just jabbing. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, one, I like that probate talk off. I love the probate talk off. I'm guessing that just a few things that I would possibly add my own little swing into it. I'm trying to kind of freestyle it in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it now, but I mean, over time.
All right. Well, let's practice it, because I think because a lot of stuff is going to naturally come up as you keep working it out. Like one thing I'm thinking about, for instance, is, and you guys out there should probably be thinking about this too, is Javon and I tried to make sure we keep the communication going by getting that email. The email address is golden. I know a lot of people don't seem like to use emails, but people still actually use that. And that's our chance to continue adding value in a way that's not just Javon and me calling them. So one thing about that is like, all right, well, cool. Well, what I can do is text you my website so you can see our services. And sometimes I'll even say, hey, I can even shoot over a probate checklist that's been vetted by the probate office. What's the email I can share with you to get that? You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about ways we can add value, but also give us a chance to get their email so we can add value. So it's gonna come, and let's work on this every day, man. Let's just we're gonna set up like a 5-minute role play before we get on the phones, because you'll start seeing more of these leads. And I want to put you on the spot now and just see if I'll do one real quick, just the intro. We'll stop it, and then you'll do it, okay?
Okay.
You got this. So you're a probate case. You're the personal representative, and I'm just calling you out of the blue. So ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Javon. Hey, this is Courtney from State Pro Service. Oh, let's start over. That was terrible. All right, let's start. All right, ring, ring, ring.
Make me feel better about what I might do.
Hey, that's all good, though. That's why we practice, y'all. That's why we practice. Ring, I'm gonna ring it. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Javon.
Yep.
Hey, how's it going? This is Courtney from the State Pro Service. I'm sorry it's called a little out of blue, but I help families that are going through the probate process. And I see that you have a case here in Durham County. And I'll just give you a courtesy call to see if there's any challenges you may be facing, or what challenge you have that we might be able to help you with.
Okay. And who would you say you were with again?
Yeah, sorry. I know it sounds like we're calling out of the blue here. It's kind of a relative new service. I'm with the State Pro Service. So we're visiting the county office once a week, and we check out probate files and see if there's families that might need help. We're going through the probate process, but I may have the wrong number. Are you not going through the probate?
I am. Yeah, I am. And okay. I mean, I was just kind of confused simply because of the phone call out of the blue.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, I am having a few issues. Yeah, can we stop right there?
All right, I got you. Yeah, well, I'll ask you what I'll probably ask, well, what do those issues look like? And I guess especially for you, Javon, for like a lot of people who don't understand what probate looks like or feels like, it could be it may be hard for you to be the role play on that, but that's what's going to be so great about if you are taking probate as a niche, y'all dig into it, get to understand these experiences, these folks, because it'll help you understand how you can add value even more. But cool. All right, so let me try bring you in and see if you can start practicing this.
All right, hold on. Let me get a piece of the talk off in my head.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try something.
You got this.
All right, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Courtney.
Yeah,
hey,
what's up?
How you doing? Hey, how you doing, man? My name is Javon. I'm with Estate Pro Services. My company actually, what we do, we visit the county courthouse once a week, and we've actually run across a probate case that has your name on it. We were just wondering what type of. I apologize.
What are you saying? What's going on?
Again, my name is Javon with Estate Pro Services.
Okay.
My company, we actually visit the county courthouse once a week and go through some of the probate cases that's there, and which your name actually came across one. We actually wanted to touch base with you and see what type of issues are you having with your probate case at this time.
All right, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, that's gonna be smoother because you're gonna the more you do it, you're gonna get rid of unnecessary words. And even me, I'm so glad role playing is so important because I don't know if I like saying I'm from a state pro service, but hearing you say it right there didn't like ring any alarms with me. So the most important thing is to make it smooth so we can get in and out quickly. So we'll just start eliminating a lot of those words that they're coming up with. But pretty cool for the first time, brother. Just especially putting you on the spot, man. So let's just keep practicing getting smooth and smooth. I know we're recording right here, but what you and I will do is just, hop on real quick and just get what the phrase you use for it, because you come from the sales world. What'd you call it?
Talk off. I call it talk.
Yeah, cool. Well, any other thoughts you have, man?
I mean, nothing offhand. I mean, if anything, I mean, whatever it is, I'll be ask you probably off recording.
All right, well, cool. We're gonna practice and work with live ammunition. So definitely recommend you out there do the same thing. You want to practice and role play, but also don't let it delay you from actually having conversations where a lot of stuff is going to just sink in for you. All right. Well, that's all I got on my side, my brother. Unless you got anything you want to share, say to the folks out there.
I mean, no. The only thing I can say is, whenever you're on these phones, be confident. Yeah. No matter how many no's you get, still be confident.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's it.
And if you want to, if you need help in the probate process, hit me up. If you actually want help having conversations or thinking about even wholesaling or doing the work that Javon and I do have, of course, I don't really pump it out there that much, but I am starting to get a little bit of traction as far as people being even more interested in it. So I just want to spread that word too. All right, other than that, hit that like, subscribe, wherever you are, share and all that. Give us some feedback. We love growing, we love learning. And until then, it's as we always say, rising tides, it lifts all sails.